Hey, what's up? My name is Aaron White. I'm with J&A Home Buyers. We are investors in the greater Houston area. Today, we're going to be covering how do you get in front of your leads. In our last video, we covered how do you find leads, how do you get lists for leads. Today, we're going to be talking about how do you get in front of leads. This is probably one of the most important pieces of your business. It is a numbers game, and it's really kind of one of the main three things you need to move this whole system across and really create a consistent deal flow or a consistent funnel. We're going to talk about funnel management down the road in some future videos as well, but today we're diving into how to get in front of people and handle it like a boss. In our last video, we gave you several lists that you could pull from. Some of them are free. You can just call them, like for sale by owners. You can just call on Zillow, call whatever, and go ahead and get in touch with them. Now we're going to be talking about some options you can do that are paid, but really have the high returns because you're going to get in front of a lot of people who need to sell your house or sell their house, right? They may be in a circumstance where they need repairs, they have a condition on title, something's wrong, and they may need an investor to work with them, right? So let's dive into it. Skip tracing companies. This is where you find contact information, telephone numbers, maybe if they don't live in that property, what addresses do they live in, and you can reach out to those people, right? So companies like PropStream. PropStream's really kind of the well-known one in this industry because they have a lot more than just skip tracing. They have tools to help you run comps, all sorts of cool stuff. Batch skip tracing is another one. Real Estate IQ is pretty sweet because you don't pay per lead. They just give you daily updates with a whole bunch of pre-skip trace information. And Deal Machine is awesome if you're going to go about the driving for dollars method there, because it's really good tools to kind of help you track your drives. Where were you, what you did, the leads that you're interested in, and help you follow up with those. So it's really built around that driving for dollars piece as being really good. Now, one of the probably most effective ways to get in front, truly in front of these leads, because they get hit by quite a few investors as well, not just you, is to drive out to areas. But you don't want to just drive aimlessly to a whole bunch of places and drive all over Houston or wherever you are. Houston's a big place. You can drive for hours to get across it. So look for zip codes, right? Take your list that you're purchasing and skip traced, and you're going to say, okay, these are lists. For example, you don't want to contact eviction because they're not going to live in that house, but you might want to take one like facing foreclosure. There's a high likelihood that they're living in that house, and you're going to pull, okay, this zip code has the most, right? And you're going to make a plan to go hit several of those houses in that zip code and talk to them, right? Get out there, and now you're going to knock that door and talk to them. And then you're going to call and text them a picture of that house that you're in front. Hey, I'm outside. Do you have a minute to talk? And then go from there. And then handwritten note. If they don't respond to the call, don't respond to the text, didn't respond to the knock, take a handwritten note. You can buy some nice ones from Staples and other places that have a good adhesive, and you can stick it up on the door. Make it handwritten, make it personal. This is really, it's really clear, like, hey, this person really, really wanted to get in touch with me because they called me, texted me, left me a note. Clearly they were here. They are interested in buying my property, right? It's going to be standing out from the people who are doing some of these other methods here because you hit all of those. You hit a lot less, but it's quality. The next one is calling the lists. This one is a high impact one, and you're not going to do the driving one every single day, right? But you might pick maybe once a week or something and kind of pick that highest zip code count and go chase it. So the calling list is huge because you can really focus on dialing in to a number of people. Now you might call hundreds, for sure hundreds, if not thousands of people, and only have maybe 100 to 200 connects during a day. And then maybe from that, you might get one lead, right? So you're going to be doing a high volume game and getting very low leads per the volume that you're getting into. You have to go in expecting to do the work. This is why you can get paid good money as a wholesaler. It's a lot of hard work. But doing the work, you can track things like dials, and then the contacts you made, and appointments. And the importance of really tracking these is you need to fine tune how you say things, right? And how you engage to see if you're effective or not, right? And to see if you're within normal ranges, or if you're having an off day, or something you're saying isn't clicking, right? Or maybe your list is bad. Maybe your list needs to be filtered or changed, or you're not getting good numbers, whatever it be. It's important metrics to be tracking so that you know how you're doing in this business, right? And then building a script. This is going to be important too, and we're actually going to have an entire video dedicated to this. That's the next one coming up. Stay tuned for it. We'll dive in. Now we're going to get into another method, mail marketing. Now, mail marketing, you have to just understand that you're going to have a low rate of return on the calls or mail that you're sending out. Think about you. How many pieces of mail do you get every day, and how many of those have you called? I know for me, I may have only called like 4 or 5 in my entire life of getting junk mail, right? So don't expect a whole lot different from others. What you can do to stand apart from others and get a higher return on your mail count, maybe to actually reduce your spend, because you can really spend thousands of dollars in mail and have a very low return. So make sure you have good buying criteria. For example, I don't want commercial properties, I don't want just land, I don't want whatever it be, right? Filter those out. But other things you can do is you can really personalize these, right? So for example, if you throw in a Google Street View, it's like, oh yeah, they actually did see my property, right? Or maybe if you throw in a lot of information like names, and these are actually quite common, name of the person, address that you're contacting them about, and some other things like tax, for example, pull the HCAD here in Houston, your assessor, tax assessor value, and throw that in there, and wordsmith how you write that out. Other things you could do, handwritten notes are the highest rate of open on the envelope. That's really important, get that thing opened. Number 2 is the response. So handwritten notes take a lot of time, but they're much higher return in terms of the response. Another interesting approach to this is you could say, okay, let's just say you have like 6 or 7 different lists, like eviction and divorce, right? And you see that name and address on both. Oh, this person has an eviction, they're going through a divorce, and now you write them a piece of mail that's handwritten and pointed to that specific thing. So the number of letters you're going to send out might actually be very, very low. But that person's going to know that you know something about them, almost to a creepy level, that they're not really seeing from all the other lists that are being contacted them or callers that are contacting them, right? So very, very personalized to their situation. Then other ways you can do this. So the mailing fees, you could do this DIY, right? Where you are actually taking all this information, and you could probably work on building some automations essentially to put these lists into a Word document and then run them off to USPS. A lot of work, but a much lower cost for that work, for sure. There's some easy ways to do it, but they're not necessarily the cheapest ways. There's 2 CRMs out there that are pretty well known, RE Simply and REI Blackbook. They make it super easy. I mean, really easy, where you go in there, you upload a list, and it has all that information. You make sure that you have the right columns in there, and then you have your custom mail, and you click send, and bam, they handle the prints, they handle the mail, the stamps, and everything. All of that's just done. You can't get any easier than that, right? If you want kind of an in-between option, maybe like help on the design, printing, so on and so forth, but maybe you'll run it to USPS and stand in line for a half hour to mail them out. Ballpoint marketing or REI Pro could be good options for you as well to look at and have some of those sent out. All right, other methods, and I have these kind of as last because they're not really the immediate return in terms of getting higher quantities of leads. You might spend a good bit of time. Over time, these can pay off. And that's YouTube, social media, and websites, right? All 3 of these have paid options. You can do pay-per-click, paid social media, paid YouTube ads, etc. And those can drive leads. I would just recommend that you look for someone who actually knows what they're doing in the space, because it's really easy to spend thousands and thousands of dollars here. And those companies are good at bringing you all sorts of leads. They may not be leads for you. They may be wanting to sell a violin or sell whatever it be. Has nothing to do with real estate. And they just called the number because it was the first on the Google search, right? So you have to be really good at telling it negative keywords or areas and all sorts of other things in order to help the algorithms know how to track your dollars spent in advertising to the type of leads you want, right? So that one can be, I would say, on the lower end of priorities here when it comes to getting in front of the people that you want to, but certainly a value add. And I would target your information on specific things. Maybe it's, fixing a specific problem in an eviction, or how to do an eviction, or how to blah, 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 right? So these kinds of things that you're targeting and making content for can help you get in front of those potential candidates in your area. And keeping in mind, if you're working in a specific area, these are on the internet, they can go out everywhere, right? So it helps to keep it very focused. So anyways, hopefully this will help you take some massive action on getting that lead funnel started and widening it. It's one of the most important things. If you don't have this top of your funnel built out solid with a solid plan, nothing else you really do doesn't really matter, right? So these are the actions you need to take in order to really make massive action and get in front of potential sellers and start moving that funnel in the right direction.